everybody, it's me, Reveille. We're here for day 2 of our metaphysical adventure, our journey into the unknown. I'd like to start today with a couple of reminders and disclaimers. First of all, I live in the country, and because I live in the country, you're probably going to get little pixelated parts of the message. I encourage you to hang in. They don't last long. It just kind of comes and goes. I don't know, a plane flies over, a bird goes, I don't know, but I just get a little pixelated from time to time. So that's number one. Number two, when I post this on Facebook, on YouTube, you're going to see a little subscribe button in the bottom, in the right corner of the image. I encourage you to click that so you don't miss any videos. And number three, we may, as you know, have a little visitor come into our presence as I'm reading. You know, Tish likes to come and be a part of everything, but I got a plan for that today. We'll see how that works out. We'll see what happens. Maybe she'll sleep through the whole thing. All right, so day 2 of the journey. Before we step into the future, we want to take a look back at the past. See what you did regarding yesterday's video. Number one, you had a couple of things you're going to be looking at. One of them was the getting something to use as a journal. Did you find something to use as a journal? If not, I can't tell you how much I encourage you to journal through this process. It will be huge. It'll be huge when this is a part of our history and we can go back and remember. Who knows? Maybe even pass it on to our grandkids, great-grandkids, or whatever, and they can have a first-hand experience of what it was like for us. Second-hand, sorry. Number 2, in the things that you had, did you have a piece of note paper that you could jot something down? I'm going to have you jot a couple of things down today that I think you'll be glad you had the pencil to note. And you had we talked about turning problems into projects. And I suggested a project for you, and that was clean a junk drawer. Did you by any chance find a junk drawer to clean? If you did, you probably had a great experience. Now, just so you know, you might see, you know, that you can leave comments. I can't see them. I'm not close enough to see them. I don't have, you know, Superman vision or anything. So I would encourage you to make any comments in the comments section. Then I should see them after. Or you can go to YouTube and leave comments there. So now we are done with the past and we're coming into the future. So I can put you on the spot for a test right away. My question, what are you wearing? Well, you can see that today I am wearing workout clothes. That's because when this is over, I'm going to do jazzercise. I belong to Jazzercise, and they have allowed every one of the members of our group to sign on to Jazzercise on demand for 60 days for free. So that's great. So, and then who knows, they may extend it in the future. But, you know, we'll talk about it later, but exercise is really important. So, what are you wearing? If you're still your pajamas, go get dressed. Join the world. Believe me when I tell you, we function much better. You know, you wear the right clothes for the occasion. Right now, my right clothes would be my workout clothes. And getting a little hairy with my hair. I noticed that it just seems to be acting out today. That's hard. I'm not getting it cut when I need to get it cut. However, you'll notice it still has color and will have color because everyone may have been running to grab all the toilet paper off the shelves, but they weren't going for the purple hair color. So I'm good on that, and I don't need toilet paper to color my hair. So we're doing good there, right? Okay, so let's move on. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. Remember yesterday I showed you the little heart that that my great-grandson gave me that makes me feel close to him. I'm going to show you another really weird thing that I've got going on right this minute. I have to lift him up. Foot one, left foot, right foot. Now, do you think that might be because they're the only two socks I've got left that aren't in laundry? No, not so. That's the reason I have two different socks. Has two reasons. One is a very special person in my life many years ago used to wear two socks. And I never knew what to say. I thought maybe he just colorblind, whatever. What he said was he had a lot of political opinions that he didn't want to just bring up. But if anyone ever asked him why he wore two different color socks, he said, "Oh, let me tell you." And he went into whatever his political issue was. So I thought that was really cute. So that is an attachment of love from someone who is not really in my past. He's currently in my way past because he has left the planet. That's another story for another day. The other reason I wear these two socks is because it was two pair, and the other red sock and the other green sock I brought to my daughter who lives in Colorado. This was a few years ago. I'm very easy on socks. And I brought her the socks, so we each had one of each other's socks. So when we wear them, we feel close to each other. And especially at times like this, when we're so far away, we want to feel close to those we love. So yesterday, I had the little pillow filled with hugs from Tristan. Today, I've got my socks that Mimi and I share the pair of two different colors, and it makes us feel closer together. Okay. All righty. So now we are, I want to share something with you called, it's a reading I meant to do yesterday, but I didn't get to it. It's something that touched my life, and it goes into exactly what we're going through now. This is one of my favorite all-time readings. You can find it online. It's called A New Day. You can, I will try to put a link to it at on the YouTube comment section. This is said, it says it's by Hartzell Wilson, but I heard it was from a different guy. I don't know, whoever it was. Words of Truth or Words of Truth. This is the beginning of a new day. The Lord has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it, or I can use it for good. But whatever I do is important, because I am exchanging it for a day of my life. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving in its place something I've traded for it. I want it to be gain, not loss. Good, not evil. Success, not failure. In order that I shall not regret the price I paid. And for each one of us, this is the beginning of a new day. And we do have this day to do as we will with it. I invite you to do something with this day that you will find meaning in when the day is over. And not go, I blew that one. And I'm not saying we don't need rest and Sabbath, so don't misunderstand me on that. All right, moving on. Let's see. I wanted to revisit the hero's journey. We talked about it yesterday, but we didn't bring up one really important thing. This is the journey, and I'm just going to briefly go over it. We are called, that's a megaphone, called to the adventure. This is in the trials we face in our adventure. And we have teachers who sometimes are very painful teachers, and we have helpers. So we meet these people along our paths. One of our tricks is to figure out which is which. Then we come down to the bottom. Once we cross this line, we're going into the unknown. So we're going from the known to the unknown. Now, before, let's say a month ago, let's say December last year, we kind of would get up in the morning, have our day planned. There wasn't any big issues with the unknown. Unknown things could happen, but, This is really unknown. We are going into literally, historically, uncharted territory. That's not bad. It's not good. It is what it is. So we said when we come down here, we come down to death and rebirth. There is a point when we have an awakening. It could be a good thing happen. It could be bad thing happen. Don't assume everything means bad. But it's a death. It's a changing. It's an awakening. And a part of this is we get it. This little guy's going, aha, you got it. You ever think about one of those lessons you got in life? Ah. Now we come back up, and what we learned in the unknown, we bring back to share in the known. This is the journey we're on. And you know what? When it's done and the journey is done, guess what? You go all over again. Could be reincarnation, could be just you wake up tomorrow and something else in your life has changed. We have many adventures. Okay, still have the tickle, it's just a tickle. All right. I thought it was funny yesterday and I never got to share it with you. I have Unity makes a devotional for the day, and we were talking about going into our confinement, our isolation. And Unity's message yesterday was called Free. And today's Unity message is called Blossom. So we're all being called to blossom. I'm going to freak you out right now by having a little green water, okay? It's that tickle in my throat. I breathe through my mouth when I talk. Now, why is she drinking green water? It's just water with food color. If you read my meta musing last week, you would have seen, oh, by the way, my shirt, I didn't point out, Making Magic Happen. We're making magic happen. Metaphysical magic, which isn't really magical, it's mystical. So last week in the musing, I talked about 3 glasses. We have one that's empty, one that is quite full, and one that has just a little bit. This represents our minds, okay? In our mind, we are in a constant state of input and output. But I want to talk today about input, because especially when we're home now, we have time to think about it, or when we're confined in whatever way, we have a lot of time to think about input. We receive too much input. It needs to be input and output. Now, the green water represents the negative things that come in. Do you remember the movie Short Circuit? I think that was it, Short Circuit. And the little robot was reading everything on input, 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 input. He just couldn't get enough. Well, we get input. We get it from a lot of places. And this water, which was intended to be pink, lovey, is the good input we get. It's funny because the green, the negative input sometimes seems compelling. You know, like I know that my daughter-in-law's mother, a grandmother, after 9/11 could not get away from the TV. She sat and she watched it every day, all day. Some people are that way with the news today. I got to tell you something. That's not good input. In 1 hour in the morning, check in at lunchtime if you're so compelled, and 1 hour at night. Mine is Rachel Maddow. That's who I am. I like it. That time will get you any news you really need to know. If big comes up, it'll scroll across the bottom of your screen, you know, on your television or whatever you're watching. Will pop into your telephone. So we want to limit the negative input. We want to increase the positive input. And we're there's a lot of things that can give you positive input. You know the difference when you're receiving negative input and positive input. When you're receiving positive input, you're relaxed. You're comfortable. You're happy. When you're receiving negative input, you get anxious. You get, tense, fearful. And then we have this. This is your power. Your mind, what is best for you. You have the power. This is yours. This is like what does they call that thing? The Holy Grail. This is your Holy Grail of consciousness. Now, you don't want to take someone else's consciousness, the input you get, you don't want to take that and just dump them into your glass. Ooh, then you wind up with this murky stuff. That's not good. So we have to cleanse our consciousness so we can get good. I'm going to move these because if I don't, I think we can all see that there would be a problem. Okay. So we want to talk about your input and output, and that includes food. And we all want to make sure we are staying healthy during this time. And the temptation is huge. We need to be nourished. We need to have our body nourished, our mind, our emotions. It all has to be fed. Right now, sometimes I feel like I'm starved for good news. I'm ravenous to hear something positive. Because, that 1 hour day of the news, that's about, morning, night, and a pink in the middle. That's about all I can really take, because if I take more than that, I find myself getting down and depressed. It was like 3 years ago, February, I was so stressed out because of certain things going on that I actually had to go to a retreat center. Not a bad idea. It was in Babylon, New York, and I went there, and there's no TV, no internet, and no job. So I'm back. Hope I can patch this together on YouTube, or I'll just put one after the other. All right, so where we left off was the need to nourish your mind, nourish your spirit, nourish your body, and make sure you're staying healthy. Okay. There used to be a television personality out here when I was Bob Steele. And every day, Bob Steele would start off his radio broadcast with the count and the amount. Now, the count was what day of the week or month or year it was, and the amount was his weight. So every day. I'm thinking it would be good for us to have a count and amount, keep it to ourselves, but have a count and amount that we can use to guide us whether we're taking care of our body or not, and that's good food and exercise. When we're under stress, one of the things we really want is comfort food. And I'm not saying you can't have comfort food. I'm saying you can't go crazy with comfort food. You want to have some, a little bit, and a lot of healthy food. Okay, so we have to be nourished in our body, and we have to be spiritually nourished. And one of the things that brings spiritual nourishment is prayer. Yesterday I was going to talk a little bit about prayer today. I'm going to talk a little bit about prayer every day, but this is just going to be a little teeny bit today. And the little teeny bit today is about a spiritual practice that I have been doing for years that I feel is so healthy. And that is doing a daily gratitude list. I got this from a book. Now, we all know about the Abundance Book and the gratitude list, but this one's different. Because with this gratitude list, you write down 5 things that are 5 things you're grateful for, and why. The why is really important. Now you may be thinking, gratitude list? I don't want to do a gratitude list. I don't feel like I got a lot to be grateful for right now. I'm stuck in the house. Kids are running around like crazy. I'm terrified about my money. My entire retirement account is disappearing, and I don't feel grateful. You know what? There was never a more important time to feel grateful. This is the time. If you want to know about feeling grateful during a difficult period of time, when my granddaughter passed away, that was the one thing I said, God, no matter what, don't take one of my kids. And I raised Sammy pretty much. So when she died, it was excruciating. And then when my great-grandson, who I was supposed to be the primary caregiver, when he was actually moved to Florida, that was like the double whammy. It was very difficult to sit every day and write down 5 things I was grateful for and why. But that gave me great cause to examine my spirit, to examine my beliefs, and to understand that God loves me, God's there. I know you could be saying to yourself, where is God in this? Believe me when I tell you, God is here. Sometimes, you know, we were given free will. And it's like my mother used to always say, you brought this on yourself. And I'm not pointing fingers of fault. What I'm saying, it came to us. Some of it is by right of consciousness, which we'll talk about another day. We take it, we accept it, we learn from it, and we move on. But the most important thing, one of the most important things, so my prayer tip for you today is to do a gratitude journal. Every day write down 5 things you are grateful for. And I mean, they can be crazy things. And you don't have to repeat them. You know, you might think like, okay, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my cat. I'm thankful for my house. You can go so far beyond that. You can be thankful that you got taste buds. You can be thankful that you can see, that you can get out of bed in the morning, that you can stay home, that you can get that peace and quiet and time you've always wanted. Find 5 things to be thankful for and why, and write them down. So that's your spiritual health tip for right now. Then we have mental health. We want to keep our mind healthy. Depression can be fallen into, and there's a really important thing. If you feel you are getting depressed, you need to take care of that. Talk to a doctor, talk to a counselor, talk to your priest, talk to your best friend on the phone, on Skype, on the portal, whatever. Talk to somebody. Don't just be depressed on your own, even if you're just sad. I don't know if men know, but women know what it's like to have a good cry. So don't feel like, you know, if you're feeling like you're having a good cry, you're not handling things. If you're having a good cry, you are actually releasing toxins and junk from your mind and your body, and you always feel so. It's like raining inside and pouring it out to the outside. You want to remember, no matter what, you're in charge. You're in charge. In Unity, we say that the mind is pivotal. It can look at worldly things. It can look at spiritual things. It can look at what's wrong. It can look at what's right. Remember yesterday we talked a little bit about the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? You know, Dale Carnegie, an amazing man. I've taken the Dale Carnegie course, which was so helpful. And he had a thing about worry, you know. And one of the things he said was live your life in day-tight compartments. So when you get up in the morning, you know, you put yourself in a day-tight compartment. Okay? I'm up in the morning. I got my little routine going on. What am I doing first? Get dressed. And then go about your goals for the day and the problems you're turning into projects. We go about that. Day-tight. Jesus said, you know, don't worry about tomorrow. You got enough troubles for today. And if we handle our troubles for today, tomorrow will eventually take care of itself, okay? You're in control. But here's another interesting thing. we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Some people are human beings having a spiritual experience, like going to church on Sunday. Spiritual beings having a human experience are dealing with growing that spiritual child within them to maturity. So in me, there is, believe it or not, there is this pushy, stubborn, selfish little human being that my spiritual being has to really be very firm about. It's time to go to bed. It's time to brush your teeth. 74 years old, and still I have to really practice self-discipline. So I encourage you to work on self-discipline as a means of taking care of your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual health. In Unity, we teach what's called the law of mind action. We talk all the time, we're talking about spiritual principles, spiritual laws, and so one of them is the law of mind action. And what that says is what you hold, that's the clue, hold in your mind manifests in your life. Very often people have literally, it's proven that worry can lead to stress, which can lead to all kinds of dis-ease. Anger can lead to dis-ease. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said that anger is a tightening up and toxins. And now they say that, you know, the adrenal glands or whatever actually push toxins into your system when you're angry. Part of it's that fight or flight thing. But it's all the same thing. Don't be angry. If you tend to get angry, find a way to calm yourself. Anxiety is something that a lot of people are suffering from today. But you know what Jesus said? You know, being anxious, I don't know about that. Being anxious isn't going to add a day to your life or a cubit to your height. Well, I mustn't be anxious because I'm all of what? 4 foot 10 and a half inches tall. So watch your emotional health and feed your spirit. And here's a good thing. Breathe, right? You know, every time that I would talk to someone and they had to do a speech, or they were speaking at a memorial or any kind of public speaking or emotional speaking, and I would say to them, when you start to feel you're getting tense, breathe. You may not realize this, and you can practice it right now. If you take a deep breath, you can't think anything. Nothing's happening in your head when you take a deep breath. Isn't that fascinating? So the more you focus on your breath, I try to do, when I'm getting tense and like that, I try to do 3 what we call deep cleansing breaths. And that is breathe in slowly to the count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, breathe out slowly for a count of 4, and hold it for a count of 4. You would be surprised. Sometimes I even do that if I'm having a little blood pressure challenge, and I find that it lowers the blood pressure beautifully. And that's what stress can do to you. So physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, you want to stay peaceful. That's physical health. And so I'm going to do jazzercise later on my television. And also Silver Sneakers. One of my friends sent me a link that Silver Sneakers is having a special promotion where they're going to do a free TV program, exercise, workout, get your little weights going, you know. So I will put a link to that in the YouTube when I get that up and going, which may be a while, because I'm going to see if I can try to marry the video that quit and this one. Hopefully it won't quit again. Again, try to get through the pixels if they happen, okay? I apologize. Okay, another thing. We need to have good news. We need to seek out until that good news is all over the place, which it will be. Until then, we have to seek it out. Good thing, China, no new cases of the virus today. Yay. Venice, because the traffic on the waters has been non-existent, the waters are settling. Because of the people that aren't driving their cars, the air is getting purer. Mother Earth is healing. Wow. We'll talk about that another day, because I got a lot to say about that I didn't get to say today. Sometimes I wonder if we are a parasitic infection that the Earth has, or if we are symbiotic. We need to learn to be symbiotic, and maybe this time away will give us time to focus on what does that mean, and how can I do that? Clue: reduce, reuse, recycle. All right, when will this end? You know, we're all going like, ugh. If you start worrying about when it will end, you're going to make yourself a very unhappy person. We have to just take it. What did I say? What did Dale Carnegie say? Day-type compartments. Live this day to the fullest. Live it in a way that when the end of the day comes, you won't regret feeling that you wasted it. It will end when it will end. I heard that in Miami, the kids are still down there. Young people are down there, summer break. They're saying, we don't care. We're going to go down now. We're going to get drunk before they close the bars. That's unfortunate, because wherever they're getting on planes to go home to, they got anything down there, and Florida's got its issues. When they get back there, they're bringing it home. One of the problems we face right now, whether you're looking for toilet paper or chicken breasts, whatever it is, a lot of the stores are sold out. They're still sold out because people are putting self before the whole. We're going to make a great switch when we put others before, not instead of, but before ourselves. Include others, include the greater whole. Are you missing those hugs yet? Are you missing being with the people you love yet? So I said save and use tomorrow, so I don't know what that's all about. Okay, get a routine established. You want to make sure you have a plan for the day, goals for the day, for the day, and you know what's great? Checklist. Every morning while I'm in my respite and prayer time and pondering, and I will jot down if something occurs to me that I wanted to do. That's because if I get it off put it on the paper, I get it out of my mind so I can continue to pray. Then check off the list. There is nothing like checking off something on a list to feel productive. All right. That's about the silver sneakers, so I thought I might have forgotten that. Okay. Get your paper and pencil ready, because you need to write this down. One of the most important parts of health and healing and the healing process is laughter. You gotta find ways to laugh. I got two things that'll help you. They're both, go to Google, and the first one you Google is funny text mistakes. And you better go to the bathroom before you start reading it, because you may wet your pants laughing, because it is that funny. The second funny thing is you go to Google and you look up Universal Studios free photo booth prank. Universal Studios free photo Universal Studios free photo booth prank. It is, you have to laugh. I'm telling you, you have to, okay? So we want to know that we're going to laugh today, despite what's going on in the world. We're going to love today, despite what's going on in the world. We're going to live our fullest today, despite what's going on in the world. So God bless you. Thanks for being with me. And I hope you will join me tomorrow, and we will play some new things. Want to take some things further. I'll have some new ideas for ways to laugh and ways to pray and things. You can watch me try to find my cursor to make this video end, which I don't seem to be able to do. We'll put the mouse over here. All right, well, I'm not going to play mouse. Bless you. Have a great day. Kissy, kissy. Mwah. Go away.